Hello and welcome to the Josh Hose Show. I'm your host, Xavier Geisinger, and with me is the head coach of the Massillon Tigers, Coach Hose. We want to thank our season-long sponsor, Reliable Heating and Cooling. Coach, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here, as always.
Now, Coach, your Tigers improved 11-6 following a pair of road wins this past weekend. Let's start with last Friday night's game at Youngstown Ursuline. Tell us more about that game.
It was a big win for us. Ursuline's 12-3 coming into that game, or 12-4 coming into that game, and had won a lot of good games against some really quality opponents. So we knew we had to come into it and play really well. And on the road, it's tough up there to play. We won by 1 up there 2 years ago and 3 here last year. So obviously very close games in the last 2 years. So you go up there and the game starts, and I've never experienced a game like this before where I've coached it. The game started with them on the foul line and ended with them on the foul line. So we had a technical called in pregame that cost us that they had to shoot a foul shot to start the game. So we didn't do your traditional jump ball. They were on the foul line, and then at the end of the game, we were ahead by 1 point, and they called a mystery foul on the last play of the game. That I thought the game was over. All the guys thought the game was over, and the ref blew whistle, said there was a foul on the rebound, so they put a kid on the foul line to shoot, and with 0.8 seconds left, they put time back on the clock, and luckily for us, he missed the first shot. It was a 1-on-1 situation, and we got the rebound and iced the game. I was really proud of our kids though, because it's a tough environment. You face that adversity. They handled it really, really well, and we didn't shoot the ball great, and that's always tough to win. But we've found a way to win in some of those games, and that shows a lot of maturity as a team. Our seniors have been leading us through that, and we're going to talk to one coming up here who's done a great job for us all year. That just have been leading us in those tough games, those close games. We don't do anything but play close games. It seems like so if you're going to come to one of our games, you get your money's worth. But it was a really good win for us.
Nice. Now, and then on Saturday night, it was another close win, like you said. This time at Cleveland Benedictine. What can you tell us about that game?
Well, it's one of those classics that we've played in at the Costa Kufos Classic over at Glen Oak. So it was a road game for both of us. We've played really well in those games over the years, so we were excited to go in there. And again, Benny was a weird team because they're 1-12, but they've 12 teams they've played, they've lost to, all have like really good records. It's some of the best teams in the state. Factor in that they've had some COVID shutdowns. They were shut down from like December 28th till January 20th. They had a big gap in their games there. So we knew going into it, like they have some really talented kids, and some people ask, like, how's that team a one-win team? I said, look at their schedule, and but they had a 6'7" kid inside, a 6'5" guy, a 6'3" guy, and really long, athletic, strong, physical team. And again, a game we didn't shoot the ball great in, and but we made some really big plays down the stretch. It just was. Luke Sabo really had a big game for us. Led us in points and rebounds, I believe, and with 21 points. But just again, leaned on your seniors. Making some big plays down the stretch, and really, Ardell Banks stepped up. We didn't have him last week, and that hurt us. In games like that where you're not shooting well, he gets a lot of rebounds for us. Gives us opportunities, extra opportunities. And then Caden Woolard, had to go against the 6'7" kid, so he got in some foul trouble, and Ardell came in and. I think he was second in scoring with like 13 points for us. So he had a big weekend for us. It's great to get him back, and great to see these kids respond against two good teams. Going into tournament time, the draw was Sunday. We wanted to get those 2 wins to give us a good, good resume going into that.
Nice. And now, you've said it already, but your team has played a lot of close games this season. Do you think that's going to be an advantage for your team as the rest of the season games play out?
Absolutely. It's always an advantage of playing close games. Not that you want to do it by design. But with those games over the years, even last year we had a lot of those games, you can see a calmness in the huddle. You can see a comfort level of like, okay, we practice it a lot in practice. We do a lot of situational stuff. We call it 2-minute games, win the game situations where, you have to finish a game out basically with a lead or tie game type situation. But they're very comfortable in those situations, and I think they draw on that experience that we've had in those games. And would we rather win by 10 or 15 comfortably? Yes, but it's who we are, and we'll take them any way we can get them. And again, with our schedule, we haven't played a lot of weak teams. We have had a couple wins where we played some lesser quality opponents, and have pulled away a little bit, but for the most part, we're playing good teams, and we're going to play in close games. And I'd take that versus getting beat in close games. So luckily, we're winning a lot of those, but those are tough ones because you're hanging on to every last minute there.
Oh yeah. Now, in a moment, we'll meet with a Tiger player. But first, this word from Reliable Heating and Cooling.
Everything that goes into a Lennox system is engineered for absolute comfort. Like the parts that create your perfect temperature and humidity, or the parts that purify the air. Together, all these parts save you up to half off your heating and cooling bills. And there are few things more comforting than that.
The future of home comfort is here now at Reliable Heating and Cooling. Get the latest innovation and technology at Reliable. Lennox, innovation never felt so good.
Thank you to Reliable Heating and Cooling. And welcome back to the Josh Hose Show. Our Tiger player this week is senior guard Vari Moore. Welcome to the show, Vari.
Glad to be here.
Now, how old were you when you first started playing basketball, and who taught you the game as you were growing up?
It's probably like it was probably like in third grade. I don't know how old I would be in third grade, but
yeah,
probably like in third grade. And I went to the Boys and Girls Club like every day, like all summer, all school year. So the managers there were helping me play basketball.
Nice.
But really it was mostly about myself.
Nice. And so what did you do in the off season to make yourself better?
Get a lot of shots up. You got to work on your shots so you can be consistent in games. And I had to work on my mental to be more poised in the games because, as Coach Ho said, I didn't play much varsity, so I wasn't ready for or not ready, but there yet to be on the varsity level mentally. And when you get in a varsity game, it's a million times different than a JV game mentally. So I just get poised, work on my shot, strength, get some defense.
Alrighty. And did you set any personal goals going into your senior year on the basketball team?
Probably one of my goals was to be a leader. I feel like I've fulfilled that goal partially. I feel like I do better with that though. And just do whatever it takes to get a win. Help my team in whatever way I can.
Being a leader is always important. And so as a senior, what is your role on this year's team?
Partial leader, scorer, Coach O says defender, and he said I can get a couple rebounds here and there, so I've been trying to fulfill those roles too.
Yeah. And so what are some of the things you do well on the floor, and in what areas do you feel like you need to get a little bit better?
I can shoot pretty well at times. I got to get a little more consistent though.
Yeah.
It's been a little bad the past couple games, but I'm not worried about that anymore. And I feel like I can work on my defense. Coach O's really trusts my defense, but I feel like I could get a little better.
Yeah.
I'm a quick guard, so I could stay with the quick guards on the other teams. But yeah, defense is why I work on that.
Nice. And finally, the team's record currently sits at 11-6. What are your expectations for this team for the rest of the season?
Obviously, we're going to try as hard as we can in every game, but I'm expecting to win out.
Nice. And so thank you for joining us, Vari. Coach Hose will rejoin the show after we return from this timeout.
Hey, chat. Why do I wear a mask? Because when I'm not behind the screen, my mask is my cheat code. And when we stop the spread, we level up. What's the next level? Hanging with friends again. You're right, masks have always been a part of our community. I miss you guys too. Being face-to-face is truly the next level. Here's the cheat code. Stop the spread of corona. Mask up, America.
And welcome back to the Josh Hose Show. Coach, we spoke to senior guard Vari Moore. Tell us more about what Vari brings to the team on a daily basis.
Oh man, Vari is a very talented basketball player. So on a daily basis, he has a lot of intangibles he brings to us as far as his character, his work ethic. Very humble kid, but he also is very skilled. And he's a good shooter, he's a good ball handler. He's turned himself into a really, really good defender. Quality rebounder for us as a guard. So, he brings a variety to us, and I think really he brought a steadiness to us this year. He's been really consistent throughout the year, and through the fall, I felt like he was probably our best player in the preseason. and the most consistent performer. And so, with him, I'm just impressed with it because he wasn't a kid that played a lot of varsity minutes last year. We had some guys that played a lot of varsity minutes that you knew what you were getting there.
Oh, yeah.
Vari, we knew he was a good player. He was in a tough spot last year with some kids like Jaden Ballard and Jaden Stock and some of these guys that were in front of him on the guard positions. And so he played some JV ball, and he did really good things down there, and we saw a leadership develop out of him at that level.
Nice.
And continue to hone his skills and all that. But it just carried it into this year, and he's just that kid. He looks like a comfortable senior that's very poised, very confident on the court, and he's made some big plays for us. It's just it's been fun to watch. I'm very proud of him because again, a lot of kids get discouraged like that, that way, and he was he wanted to play last year obviously, but he took the advantage he had to play some JV ball and continue to develop as a player, and he's just taken off this year, and he's earned everything he's getting this year.
Oh yeah. Now, we have 3 games coming up this week to talk about. As we record this show on Tuesdays, tonight, your Tigers play at Hoover. Can you tell us more about the Vikings?
Going to be a very similar team to us. They're very balanced. I look at their scoring. They're like 13 points a game, 8 points a game, 8 points a game, 7, 5.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a bunch of guys scoring a little bit here and there, and but they're also, if you look through their box scores, they got guys that will score 20 one night and 5 the next night. So they're very, very similar to us that way, and they don't rely on just one person to do everything for them. So they're going to be well coached. Coach Bluey does a really good job. It's an environment I expect to be an atmosphere like a tournament game, especially the fact we beat them at our place last year after the seeding came out, and I think there was frustration on our kids' part by the way that went down. So this year we got a higher seed than them, so I could see them maybe trying to flip that script a little bit and coming at us, but definitely will be a fun environment. Anytime you're playing Stark County teams, it's always good. And it's always, the kids get up for those, and but like I said, I just watching their games and watching their film and looking at their makeup of their team, I think there's going to be 2 teams that are very, very similar in the way they play the style of game.
So another close game, huh?
Hopefully not, but we'll be ready for it.
Oh yeah. Now, then on Friday night, you'll have your final home game of the regular season as you face Louisville. Any scouting reports on the Leopards or anything?
Yeah, Louisville they've been up and down this year at different times. And they play a very tough schedule because they're an independent like us. They don't have a league, and so they're all over the place. And with COVID, I think it's even been more so because games get canceled and you're picking up games in the last minute. And they're hovering around that 500 mark, I believe. And we've been focused obviously more on North Kent right now, but definitely have looked at the Leopards a little bit. And they're a well-coached team again. Coach Siegfried over there does a really good job. They beat us pretty good over there last year, so we're hoping to bounce back from that.
Oh, geez.
It's just we weren't ready to play, and we were outcoached, we were outplayed, all that. But this year hopefully we'll be better. It's our last home game till the tournament, so I think our guys will be excited for that, especially our senior guys. It'll be a special night for them, and I think it'll be a great atmosphere as far as that goes. With the limited number we have there, we've had some really good home crowds with the limited numbers we've had. It seems like it's gotten better as the year's gone on, and kids are getting more comfortable and all that. So it'll be a good game between us and the Leopards.
Nice. And then on Saturday night, your Tigers go back to the road at Austintown Fitch. What do you know about the Falcons?
Another 500-ish team. They've been up and down, and so they're out of the area. We were supposed to actually play them December 15th, right after we got quarantined. We picked them up, and then they got quarantined.
Oh man!
And so we kind of kept this in our back pocket. Coach and I were talking back and forth throughout the year of do we have an opening? And we were full at the time, and they were looking for a team, and so we just kind of kept emailing back and forth, and just worked out that this one was open. So I think it's it's kind of funny. We went to Youngstown last weekend. We're going there this weekend, basically the Austintown area, and then we go to Warren on Tuesday. So we're going to be taking residency up there in that Warren area next couple weeks here, or next week or so. But yeah, the Falcons, it'll be a good matchup. I think they have a really good senior that's about 6'3", scores it well. Oh, wow. And then they're young in other areas, so that probably contributes to some of their inconsistency that they've experienced this year. But again, we're going in their place on the road. It's always a tough thing to do, is get on the bus and go an hour and a half and get out and ready to play. So, but our kids have done it, and so I expect we'll go out and our kids will always play hard, and I'm proud of them for that. So we'll be ready to go, and we'll have to go out and let the chips fall where they may.
Oh yeah, nice. And So the Division I sectional/district basketball tournament seedings and brackets were announced over the weekend. Tell us more about the top seeds and where your Tigers were seeded, and when is your first tournament game?
Okay, so top seeds were Mentor, McKinley, and Jackson. So there's 3 districts, and so they each went into one. We ended up jumping into the Mentor district, not by design. It wasn't like we seeked them out. They're the best team in the state, possibly, all that.
Yeah.
When we got the 10 seed, we had to wait till the first 9 seeded and see, kind of see the lay of the land and then pick the best spot for us. And it's funny because Boardman, who we beat, got the seed right in front of us, and that's how it happens sometimes. But I'm looking at the line, I had a spot I really wanted to go, and they took it right before we got our chance to do it. So I had to kind of call a last-minute change, and so we jumped into one spot, and we took a bye. So we'll play the winner at home against Stowe or Hudson.
Yeah.
We played Stowe last year, so we know them a little bit, and don't know much about Hudson, but we'll have a chance to watch them and get some film and all that. And then if we win that one, we would play probably most likely Solon, who is a higher seed in districts. So, it's a kind of a unique situation. Last year we had to win 2 games to try to get to districts. This year we just had to win the 1 game to get to districts. So we thought we wanted to take the bye if the opportunity presented itself, because of the fact that the COVID stuff, if you play a team in the first round that would get shut down, it could affect us. So we said if we can avoid that possibility, 1 game, let's try and do it. Plus, we've played a lot of games the last couple weeks here, so I thought a couple days off might be good for our guys to get kind of rejuvenated going into that tournament. So, we like our draw, and there was no easy route or any of that. So, we're going to have to play some good basketball, and our style of play. I think we're going to be the team that's going to grind out wins, and it's going to be a tough, hard fought game and a highly contested game.
Jeez. Hopefully not another close game, though.
I foresee some in our future.
Oh, probably. Well, thank you, Coach. And as we wrap up another edition of the Josh Hose Show, we want to thank again Reliable Heating and Cooling for being our season-long sponsor. Thank you, Coach, and thank you, Senior Vari Moore, for joining us this week on the show. I'm your host, Xavier Geisinger. Thank you for watching, and as always, go Tigers.
Massillon City Schools is proud to have one of the top career technical education programs in the state of Ohio, recently receiving a #1 ranking of the 93 districts in the area of achievement. Our career technical education department offers 14 pathways preparing students for college and careers. All students have the opportunity to participate and compete in their career technical student organization, as well as obtain valuable experience in the field while earning aligned industry credentials and/or college credit in high school. Visit massillonschools.org for more information.